What's going on, guys, and welcome to today's video. And today we are taking our first long road trip in the Mini. Now, no, we aren't going out of state or somewhere crazy far away, but we need to go to Hutchinson, Kansas, which is like 60 miles away from Wichita, where we are. Now, we are running there not for anything cool or anything automotive or YouTube related, but I thought we would try and take the Mini. So 60 miles there, 60 miles home, looking at Google Maps, putting in our address, putting there where we're going and back is 113 miles. Now, no, that's not a lot of miles, a couple hours in the car, but the one thing that does kind of add to the fact that the Mini Cooper SE range is only rated for 114 miles. So we should be perfectly fine since we are going 113 instead of the 114 that it's rated for, but it is 100 degrees out here in Wichita today. So we're gonna have the AC on, we're gonna be driving at highway speed. We're not doing in-town, slow speed city driving. We are going to be driving quickly at highway speed, 65, 70 miles an hour. So we are fully charged here. We're at Electrified America charging station, making sure we are fully 100% charged before we get on the road. And like I said, per the map, it's 113 miles there and then back all the way home. So 113 round trip, not there. You guys know what I mean. So we're gonna jump in, we're gonna go and see, does 100 degrees with the AC on at highway speeds, can the Mini SE make it all the way there and back, or are we going to be on the side of the road pushing this thing down the road? So let's jump in the car, let's get on the road and get out of this heat. All right, guys, so we are a little over halfway to our 60-mile drive to Hutchinson, and it's 100 degrees out. We are pretty much just setting the cruise control at the speed limit, and we do have it in green drive mode, not green plus, but we just have it in green mode. We, like I said, have driven a little over halfway, and we are at 73% with a, I don't know if you guys can see, but we show to have 75 miles remaining. And there is our 72% battery remaining. Now, that kind of doesn't quite get us all the way back home, but everybody in the Mini Cooper SE group or world or Facebook group, you can pretty much take the range with a grain of salt, because it is pretty much always very wrong, or it under calculates what you actually have. And normally in her day-to-day driving, it's not a big deal because she's just kind of doing in-town stuff. This will be the first time where we really need it to be wrong and hopefully have a lot more miles than we are planning or needing to go, because pushing or walking in 102, it's now 102 degrees. I just glanced back down. That's not gonna be any fun. So we are going to hope that the miles till walking gauge is very wrong, and we have a little bit more kind of reserve there on the end of the battery than what it actually shows. But if you guys, if the thumbnail is me next to this thing on the side of the road, you know it went very wrong. But hopefully I'll check back in with you guys once we actually make it all the way there. We'll kind of see what our where we're sitting at on the battery and get a game plan from there. Well, guys, we made it to the halfway point here. We are in Hutchinson, Kansas, and like I said, not for anything cool or automotive or YouTube even. We just happened to be needing to go pick something up, so we thought we would take the Mini. Now, where are we after roughly 60 miles of driving? We're showing 53% battery, and depending on what drive mode you're in, if you're in normal mid mode, it's saying we have like 57 or 53 miles of range, but if you put it in the green mode, it does say we have like 63 miles of range. So we should kind of be totally fine to get back home, pending we drive the same way and nothing, you know, were to go wrong. So yeah, I was trying to maintain the speed limit roughly, you know, 5 miles an hour over in a few spots, but for the most part, I did have the cruise set at the speed limit and had it in green mode for all the better efficiency that we could get. So pending this, you know, drive style, we should be able to get back home very comfortably and not have any issues. But I thought I would, you know, for the few of you that maybe are watching this that haven't seen this on the channel yet, I thought we'd do a little walk around real quick. This is the wife's new 2022 Mini Cooper SE, and if you didn't know why I'm making a big deal about driving this thing, these are the newer all-electric Mini Coopers from Mini, obviously. But yes, this is basically just the gasoline chassis that they have put the BMW i3 motor transmission driveline here in the front and have a battery kind of shoved under the middle and kind of near the rear. So from the outside, it is just your everyday run-of-the-mill Mini Cooper and Mini Cooper S badged, but it's the only thing really kind of telling you is when you look in the fuel door and you do not have a fuel hole, you've got the electric plugins there. So yeah, it's been a really good car. She's got like almost 4,300 miles on this thing and it's been just fine. So we are going to get this thing turned back around, head back home, and hopefully I will remember to reset the trip on the way back to Wichita so we can kind of add up those two numbers or that number times 2 and get a total kind of official drive mileage all the way home and figure out, you know, what are we left with range. Now, you know, range varies so darn much because if you're driving it really hard or driving quicker, you're going to get less range in an electric vehicle than if you were driving considerably slow speeds in the city. So man, it's just really hard, you know, comparing or contrasting how many miles or what your range or whatever you're going to get. But this will be a decent test, at least in the hot Kansas, you know, temperatures out here in the, you know, blazing hot summer, that we'll be able to know kind of where we stand with this thing and have a little better understanding on future long trips, and maybe won't have range anxiety so bad. She doesn't care, she just drives it. I'm the one that is always kind of monitoring the battery range. So we'll get this thing turned around. We will head home and see where we're left with here at the end of the day. Okay guys, midway back home now to Wichita. A little update here, and it's looking a little grim if we are going by what the vehicle's telling us. So I'll show you what we're working with here. So we are sitting at 19% battery. We show a range of 18 miles. And if we look over here, we have 26 miles until we get home. So those numbers don't add up, but we are going with the good faith that the vehicle doesn't know what it's talking about, and everybody gets a lot more miles than they actually show on the vehicle's range. So like I said, we're hoping that's correct, because it's cooled off to 99 outside, so it won't be as hot of a walk the rest of the way home. But I'll keep you guys posted as we get closer, and hopefully when we are sitting in the driveway next. All right guys, so we've got like 9 miles till we get home. We were actually pushing some pretty decent heavy wind on the way back, so it has not done well for our range. We've had a whole bunch of angry warning messages letting us know that our electric range is severely reduced, and right as I'm talking with you guys, we are 0 miles remaining and 1%, and we have 9 miles to get home. So I'm not sure how this is gonna work. So yeah, like I said, here is our 0 miles, our 1%. So if the next time I see you guys, we're on the side of the road, that's what happened. Well guys, we made it home, but the car died on us one time. Let me kind of explain here. So we had roughly 9 miles to go with 0 miles remaining and like 1% of battery. It quickly went down to 0% of battery with obviously 0 miles remaining. We still had like 9 miles. We got on the highway and we're trying to drive at a very conservative pace, and we lost like 3/4 of the power meter, the meter on the left side of the vehicle. So we immediately jumped off the highway and just tried to take some, you know, city or side roads that are only like 40 miles an hour. And we were doing pretty decently on just, you know, driving 40 miles an hour. Turned on to the last, we had like 3 miles till home, turned onto the last road. We're again doing 40 miles an hour, and my little available power meter went from 3 little bars down to a single bar. Had no throttle, the pedal did nothing. I immediately shot off onto a, you know, just side road that there was no traffic on, and was getting ready to admit defeat. I figured it was better on the side road than, you know, sitting in the middle of traffic. So shut it off. Like I said, it was giving us every warning message possible. And I was getting ready to admit defeat, call Dad, have us come get us so we could get the truck trailer, drag this poor thing home. And I thought, well, you know, let's turn it back on and see what happens. So hit the switch, fired it back up, and again, we had 0% battery, no range remaining, but we had 3 bars again on the available power meter. So doing that and driving again kind of 35 to 40 miles an hour was enough that it continued all the way home with the little 3 bars on that power meter. So I don't know, that seems odd that it would give you an extra little bit of, you know, a few miles left even after it shuts off one time, but that's what happened. So we ended up making it home. The trip home, we ended up with 62 miles driven. The trip there, I need to like verify because I did not reset the trip, but I think there was roughly 60 miles. So all in all, we did 122 miles on a vehicle that's only rated at 114 miles. Now, yes, in the 122 miles, we did die one time and have to pull over and restart and you know, limp our way home, but you gotta keep in mind, it is 102 degrees outside today, and we did have the AC cranked up, we had it on low, we had the AC on, and we had the blower speed probably in the middle. And all of that is very, very drastic or you know, damaging when it comes to your range with an electric vehicle. Everything's ran off the battery, and anything you are adding to that system is reducing the available range. And again, we were out on the highway doing 70, 75 miles an hour with the cruise control set with that AC on. So the guys that are getting, you know, 130 to 150 miles range, that probably is in a little cooler climate. Maybe they aren't out on the highway doing 75 miles an hour with the cruise set. So in our first ever long drive with the Mini SE, we got 122 miles. Now, yeah, we did die and end up on the side of the road, but the Mini was resilient and it brought us home. It was a nail biter. We had the AC off there at the end. We were both sweating, kind of biting our nails, going, oh my gosh, just make it home, make it home. So is the Mini SE a long highway EV? No, absolutely not. You're going to be pulling over and charging every 100 miles or so because you wouldn't want to have to stretch it further for a longer charging station. And depending on your state, your whatever, it may or may not be feasible. In town, the thing is amazing. We've loved it. It's been so awesome. It's so peppy. You can just snap into traffic. You can get up to speed really quickly. It is a blast from stoplights. Now, 120 miles driving today, totally fine. Drove great out on the highway. It does everything like a normal car would do, but you've got that range. You've always got to keep in the back of your mind, like you do in any EV, but especially in a low range EV like the Mini SE. So guys, I guess we learned a few things. Me and her learned a few things about the SE today and how you need to respect that range or it's going to end up leaving you on the side of the road. but somehow it brought itself back and made us the rest of the way home. So we've got it back in the garage here. We've got it charging on our slow level 1 charging. I'm sure it's gonna say it's gonna take like 3 days to charge on level 1, because if you guys didn't know, we are building, and when we're building, we're gonna put level 2 in the new house. The rental house, we are unfortunately stuck with level 1 for the time being. So it was a real nail biter. We were sweating there at the end, but the Mini's home. So guys, thanks for coming along on a first here on a long range Mini SE adventure, and whew, I'm glad I'm home. So guys, thanks for watching as always, and we will catch you guys next time. So guys, like I've said before, I'm a bad YouTuber, I know. After getting home and filming that last little bit, kind of explaining the breakdown, I realized that I didn't film a single bit when we were sitting here on the side of the road. So I had the car plugged in for a little while and came back out to the scene of the dying, I guess, if you want to call it. So we were coming down this frontage road right here, Kellogg frontage road. This is 40 miles an hour. That is the main highway doing 60 miles an hour. And the rental house is just down this road, just another mile or so. And as we were coming down, that is when I finally lost all the power. Right, luckily, by a Nissan dealer. So like I said, we had no power. I coasted around here and ended up right there. So yeah, I know, I wish I would have brought the camera out in the heat of the moment, because both of us were going, oh my gosh, what do we do? It's dead. How are we getting home? Are we gonna walk? Well, how do we get this thing off the side of the road? Luckily, we weren't out in traffic. We were just sitting on this random little dead-end road next to the local Nissan dealership. But like I said, that's when I hit the power button, shut the vehicle off, waited just a minute or so while we were trying to collect our thoughts, hit the button again, and all of a sudden had 3 little power bars. Not the power of battery voltage, but 3 little, you know, I'll show you once I jump back in. The battery's still almost like completely dead, because like I said, we're level 1 charging. So I'm still running on like 1 or 2% here as I was coming back out to show you guys where we ended up. But yeah, is it programmed that way? So after it dies, you still have a teeny bit of reserve? I have no idea. And I wanted to kind of correct my earlier mileage. I had thought we had went 122 miles. I got on Google and like pinpointed exactly where we started, where we went, and then back. And it was actually 118 miles. So really, really darn close to that EPA rated 114 miles. Now, like I already said, I don't need to reiterate, but I am anyways. Very windy, very hot, AC on, 70 miles an hour on the highway. All of those were just hurting range. Yes, I understand that's how you normally drive a vehicle, but all of those are pretty detrimental on an electric vehicle. So cooler day, not doing 70 on the highway probably would have gotten us better range. Just in city mileage, I don't know, but we did 118 miles, not 122. So wanted to correct that so I wasn't misspeaking now that I actually know. But the Mini got home safely one time after dying truly on the side of the road, and now I need to make it the rest of the way down that road with my like 1% battery remaining. So like I said, bad YouTuber, I know. It would have been a lot funnier in the heat of the moment watching both of us panicking going, what the heck do we do? But bad YouTuber. So Mini Cooper got us home. I need to have it make me home one more time, and then I may have to take it to work tomorrow and steal a little bit of level 2 charging just to get this thing bumped back up for her. So yeah, what an eventful day in the Mini Cooper. But guys, again, thank you so much for coming along on a mini adventure, and hopefully the next time we have this thing out, we'll be doing a little bit of autocrossing with it with a full battery and not worrying about range or battery voltage percentage. Another thing I wanted to say was we did have green mode the whole way there and back, but I need to get this thing home. I am showing 1% battery, 1 mile of range, and I'm gonna run this thing in green plus and hopefully make it home. So again, guys, thank you very much for watching, and I'm glad you guys weren't out here stranded on the side of the road in 100-degree weather with me, and we'll catch you guys next time.